और हमको जनता का डेवलपमेंट मॉडल लाने की जरूरत है, जो माओइस्ट बीजापुर में लेकर आए हैं, जो माओइस्ट बस्तर में लेकर आए हैं अपने जनता सरकार के थ्रू। वहाँ पर सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट किया जाता है, वहाँ पर महुआली तेंदुपत्ता को सस्टेनेबल तरीके से तोड़ा जाता है, वहाँ पर बाहर के जो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स हैं उनको अंदर नहीं आने देता है, और वहाँ पर जो फार्मिंग होती है वो कलेक्टिव होती है।
There you go, viewers. Imperialist development model versus Maoist sustainable model.
She's a waitlisted Fidain. Must be under no illusion at all that all these protests have erupted regarding pollution, because after 10 years, Delhi is under BJP. During the time Kejriwal was controlling, not just Delhi but also Punjab, all these guys were not protesting on the streets. They were, as Sunny said, having something, as he put it, as bad stuff. I don't know what he means by bad stuff, smoking. Maybe he has access to good stuff. But look, let's get on the issue here. The issue is not AQI or pollution, because that, of course, needs to be tackled. But the issue is Naxalism and its support on the streets of Delhi, right next to the Amar Jawan Jyoti. The fact of the matter is, calling terrorist Hidma a martyr is astounding. And I would put it in the same category as calling terrorist Afzal Guru a martyr.
So we'll come to Professor Muni, but I want to begin with Sunny Dhiman. Sunny Dhiman, can I ask you a fundamental question tonight? Do you agree with these slogans that are being chanted by these youth? I can't hear you. Can I ask you my question again? Did you
I've
hear
already
me?
heard your question, but you can repeat.
No, go ahead. I'll ask you the question. Do you agree with them? And do you see that this is all happening within the vicinity of Amar Jawan Jyoti, a place where India's martyrs are honored, and some of them who have died facing people like Hidma and other enemies of the state? So I'm sure that you would have a problem with these students who hijacked a anti-pollution protest to do this. Please, your views, sir.
Good evening, Rahul.
Good evening.
I'm live from McLeodganj. I just came from my Vipassana retreat.
Fantastic.
I'm very high on oxygen because the air is very clean here.
Brilliant.
And my head is clean because of this Vipassana retreat. And all I can see, this is not a political case study about these lunatic students. This is a medical case study. What happens when you mix 900 AQI with bad quality ganja? They don't know about the reality. They don't know about Basta. They don't know about anything. They even didn't read about Cobalt Gandhi, the biggest Maoist thinker, who has written a very important book which exposed the whole Maoist movement, how pathetic it is. A big Maoist leader has written a book from the jail. They don't read. They are high on their own fantasies. Maybe this is a case study of, when you are perpetually exposed to high AQI and also this bad quality stuff. But the thing is, Rahul, which I'm really feeling sad today, that every minute we waste screaming about these people like Hidma. Hidma has ruined the whole Congress leadership in Chhattisgarh. Yeah. Hidma has been a terrorist. Yes. And, as Buddha said, hate begets hate, terror begets terror. So there's no such
Can I
space
ask you a question?
for, eulogizing
I'm very happy
Hidma
that you've taken this position. You're a Congress leader. And I have to ask you a question then. There is a Congress leader from Telangana, the president of the state unit, who has come out and said that Hidma should not have been killed. There are other Congress leaders who say that they oppose this encounter culture. Yeah. That we should not be eliminating these terrorists. We should allow them to surrender so that they can live amongst us, live off us, regroup, and then mount another insurgency. I know that there is a program. I'm opposed to it completely, viewers. These people should be jailed. If they give up the gun, it's not because they're giving up because they have suddenly had a change of heart. No, viewers. They're just running for their lives. They're scared. And therefore, they're supplicating before the Indian state. The Indian state should give them such a kick straight into gaol, into jail. But I want to ask you, why is the Congress so sympathetic?
Congress is not sympathetic. I'm just telling you my own lived experience when I was a researcher in my MPhil. I visited
Well, so then how
Telangana,
do you
Adilabad.
explain what this Telangana...
Yeah. I'll
One second,
explain
one
you.
second. Let me... No,
I
please.
was in Telangana.
Let me
and
read out what the...
I have
No, one
met.
second, sir. Let me
Listen,
read out...
listen.
Let
In
me at least read out, sir.
2014,
Maybe you
I
don't know.
visited,
You've been...
let me tell you, if you're asking me as a Congress ideologue, I'll give you the answer as a Congress ideologue. I'm telling you, if you kill these terrorists, you are making them martyr. And if you bring them into the mainstream, as Kowal Gandhi has came back to mainstream and he has exposed whole Maoist movement, there will not be no more Maoist. They will not, bring more people, bring more youth into their fold. Now you are killing these kind of people and you are making them revolutionary. You are making them, a martyr. This will not
So
help
there's
the
no
movement.
difference between...
That is why.
Between...
And I personally
Okay.
have met many people
Now,
who have
viewers...
surrendered their weapon when I was in Telangana. I was doing my field work.
Now,
And
viewers,
they
just a
become
minute,
part
just a
of the
minute, just a minute.
mainstream.
Brilliant,
And
sir.
now they're
You have such a bleeding
anti-Maoism.
heart.
Now they're
You said that
anti-Naxal.
you're in a very clear
Now they're
space.
anti-Naxal.
No, one second. You're in a very clear space, breathing very clear air. I hope you haven't become an airhead, because you're sounding like an airhead.
Maybe like too much oxygen is bad
Yes,
for
I
the
think
lungs
you're
because
just...
I came from
Your mind is emptied.
maybe.
So just a minute. Dr. Ranganathan, you see Sunny Dhiman, the very bright airhead who is here with us, he is showing us this signal of some AQI or something or the other. I can't quite figure out what it is. But he says, AQI. I understand AQI is a big concern, viewers. Terrible. It's absolutely terrible, horrid. We're living in a gas chamber and something needs to break very quickly. One understands that. But I want to ask you, Doctor, how does AQI, what connection does an AQI protest have with resurrecting and eulogizing the memory of a terrorist?
Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists. We must be under no illusion at all that all these protests have erupted regarding pollution, because after 10 years, Delhi is under BJP. During the time Kejriwal was controlling, not just Delhi, but also Punjab, all these guys were not protesting on the streets. They were, as Sunny said, having some something, as he put it, as bad stuff. I don't know what he means by bad stuff, smoking. Maybe he has access to good stuff. But look, let's get on the issue here. The issue is not AQI or pollution, because that, of course, needs to be tackled. But the issue is Naxalism and its support on the streets of Delhi, right next to the Amar Jawan Jyoti. The fact of the matter is, calling terrorist Hidma a martyr is astounding. And I would put it in the same category as calling terrorist Afzal Guru a martyr. But then again, we have to accept the painful truth that a country is being run inside this country and that the Naxals and the Maoists are running it. We also have to accept that the bigger country, India, has not been able to defeat this little country, even though year by year the little country is shrinking. In fact, Rahul, we are now entering the most dangerous phase, because the Modi government, led brilliantly by Amit Shah, has to be said, has achieved unprecedented success in tackling this red menace. The red corridor has now shrunk to a red Pakdandi, but the fact remains, Pakdandi remains, and we cannot let our guard down, especially as the mother country is feeding and nourishing this fetus, because the umbilical cord is intact. Rahul, we can win 4 wars against an external enemy, South Asia or Pakistan. We can go and bomb them even in peacetime. But we cannot seem to defeat this internal enemy, this country within a country. Parallels with the fate of America and Vietnam would inevitably be drawn, but let's not go there. Let's focus on this little country that has killed tens of thousands of our bravest Jawans and continues to. This little country has its own defense, its guns and munition and bombs, its own economy through extortion and growing poppy. But most crucially, Rahul, this country has its own foreign service and diplomats. And they are its ultimate strength that allows the Naxals to burn schools, destroy roads and hospitals, and reject our constitution. And these diplomats, these urban and bourbon Naxals, reside in our country and not in the country they support and work for. They rationalize and justify Naxal violence, but cat gets their tongue when you ask them what 7 lakh Kashmiri Hindus should have done when they were murdered, raped, pillaged, looted, ethnically cleansed, driven out from their own land. You see, Naxals can be Gandhis with guns, as their totem Arundhati Roy once called them affectionately, but Kashmiri Hindus can't be. These are the people who dance at the murder of CRPF Jawans, turn Pol Pots into poet activists who set the rose-tinted David Goliath media narrative here and abroad. Their every lie has been exposed, their every argument countered. But like a hamster in wheel, they keep paddling this vicious cycle. Making maddening idols out of Maoists can either be because of one's ignorance or moral relativism, but being congenital hypocrites. In their case, it is both. Devising Nigerian widow who wants to give away their recently discovered inheritance is more trustworthy than these, I'm sorry to use these words, Islamo-fascist, Hamas-loving, Hindu-hating, commie lunatics.
Well, you know, some people have called them useful idiots. I just want to play out one soundbite. Sanju Verma, please listen to this soundbite. You'll be astounded, viewers. You see, here is an attempt to draw a parallel between an anti-pollution protest and a eulogy to Hidma. Just listen to this, viewers.
इतना ज्यादा एयर पोल्यूशन होने की वजह से सिर्फ दिल्ली में, इसमें हम सब देखते हैं कि इसका रीजन इंपीरियलिस्ट डेवलपमेंट मॉडल है, प्रॉफिट ड्रिवन डेवलपमेंट मॉडल है, ये जनता का डेवलपमेंट मॉडल नहीं है। और हमको जनता का डेवलपमेंट मॉडल लाने की जरूरत है, जो माओइस्ट बीजापुर में लेकर आए हैं, जो माओइस्ट बस्तर में लेकर आए हैं अपने जनता सरकार के थ्रू। वहाँ पर सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट किया जाता है, वहाँ पर महुआ लीज तेंदुपत्ता को सस्टेनेबल तरीके से तोड़ा जाता है, वहाँ पर बाहर के जो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स हैं उनको अंदर नहीं आने देता है, और वहाँ पर जो फार्मिंग होती है वो कलेक्टिव होती है।
There you go, viewers. Imperialist development model versus Maoist sustainable model.
She's a wait-listed Fidain.